with was Robyn.
And I think that I just have to respectfully go, have a good life. Via con Dios.
I walked into this challenge with all the humility I could carry, fully aware that what lay ahead was no ordinary test of strength. I told myself from the very start, this won't be easy. There would be no bragging, no chest beating, no empty promises, because I knew one thing for sure. The special forces find your breaking point. They poke, they prod, and when you least expect it, they rip apart your walls until you're standing exposed in front of your biggest weaknesses. That's what I braced myself for. But what I wasn't prepared for was how they emotionally tear you down. The cruelest twist? Watching someone deliberately picked out and pushed aside, made to feel like they don't belong. That, right there, was the kind of psychological warfare I never saw coming. And now, here we are, with Special Forces Season 4 set to premiere September 25th on Fox. But let's be honest, the buzz isn't just about the challenges, the obstacles, or even the format. The headlines, the chatter, the wildfire spreading across social media? It's all about one man, Kody Brown. Yes, even outside the Sister Wives circle, people cannot stop talking about him. Fans, critics, reality TV junkies, even those who never watched a single episode of Sister Wives. Everyone has an opinion. And it's not flattering. Because the truth is, Kody did not play well with others. Not even close. Cast members who had their own controversies, their own messy reputations, somehow managed to bond and build each other up. But not Kody. Instead, his time on set only confirmed what Christine had already written in her explosive memoir. Kody Brown is not a team player. He never has been. This was never about unity. For him, it was about control. About himself. About winning the spotlight. And when the media grilled him during press stops about conflicts with the cast, Kody didn't back down. He didn't show remorse. Instead, he smirked and shrugged it off with, "I'm Gen X, man." That's it. That was his excuse. But here's where it gets even messier, because thousands of Gen Zers online immediately rejected Kody's claim, calling it an insult to their entire generation. And honestly, they're right. Kody's toxic traits are not a generational flaw. They're not some cultural curse. They are his own demons. This isn't just one person's opinion either. Other moderately famous cast members, people who had nothing to gain by dragging him, are echoing the same thing. Kody Brown is a diva. He thrives on conflict, he thrives on the narrative that he is the misunderstood star of his own show. And that brings us to the most shocking claim of all. Because during this press tour, in a jaw-dropping interview, Kody Brown looked straight into the camera and declared, he might just be too famous for polygamy now. Yes, you heard that right. The same man who built his fame, his TV empire, and his very identity on the back of polygamy, is now claiming he's above it. That he has outgrown it. That somehow fame and polygamy cannot coexist, and he is choosing the fame. The audacity is breathtaking. The backlash? Immediate. Fans are outraged, insiders are whispering, and the internet has lit up with one burning question. Did Kody Brown just admit that fame matters more than family? And as if that wasn't enough, the drama only snowballed when other names got dragged into the chaos. We've already covered Kody's suspiciously cozy press stop with Johnny Manziel, but now his feud is stretching into unexpected territory. He's been going back and forth with Gia Giudice, yes, Teresa Giudice's daughter, in a public clash that is giving fans exactly what they came for, reality TV mess at its finest. Because let's not sugarcoat this, Gia wasn't afraid to spill. She admitted flat out that Kody wasn't the best team player, that he looked out for himself more than his group, and that he carried an energy that made people's blood boil. And Kody, never one to let someone else have the last word, fired back during his press tour. The tension is boiling over. The cast is circling the wagons. And through it all, Kody is still standing on an island of misfits. Except the misfit is just him. So buckle up, because if this is just the beginning of Kody's Special Forces storyline, then what's coming next may be the most explosive twist we've ever seen outside the Sister Wives universe. Gia's comment about Kody Brown only looking out for himself and ignoring teammates who were clearly struggling? Let's be honest. Doesn't that sound exactly like the storyline we've been watching for nearly 15 years on Sister Wives? It's the same old script. Christine spelled it out in her memoir too. Every big move, every unnecessary expense, every luxury that wasn't food or survival, it all centered around Kody. It was always about his benefit first and everyone else came second. Nothing new, Except now it's playing out on national television outside of TLC's bubble. When asked about Gia's accusations, Kody gave the kind of response that only deepened the cracks. He shrugged and said he didn't even consider it a clash. Instead, he brushed it off with a line about being Gen X in a group full of Gen Z contestants. He claimed he got along with Gia just fine, but then contradicted himself, admitting he was deadly honest during a choice that apparently left some people upset. And his justification? You remind me of my daughter. I wouldn't ever let her get on that plane. Think about that. Instead of accountability, Kody hides behind generational excuses and fatherly metaphors. But the fans see right through it. If this was really about protection, why does it feel more like manipulation? Why does it always come back to Kody playing the hero in his own story, even when others are left crushed? Even more telling was how out of touch he seemed with the atmosphere around him. While others were struggling to endure, while the cast was bruised and battered, Kody admitted he was naively hopeful that more people than ever would graduate from Special Forces. He envisioned a group victory, 10 contestants making it through. But as the competition wore on, reality hit. People were dropping out. Weaknesses were revealed. And yet, instead of uniting, Kody doubled down on the narrative that everyone should just push harder, mind over body. Fans couldn't help but hear the echoes of Sister Wives again. The man who ignores warning signs and insists everyone else should adapt to his fantasy. And then came the excuse that really set the internet ablaze. I'm Gen X, man. For viewers, this was déjà vu. How many times has Kody claimed he was misunderstood? How many times has he painted his selfishness as some grand generational difference? Gen X fans flooded social media, making it crystal clear. Kody's narcissism doesn't represent them. His behavior isn't about culture or age, it's about him. That same warped perception carried over when Kody claimed he thought he got along just fine with Gia. It was painfully reminiscent of his family dynamic on Sister Wives. We've seen it for years. His wives and kids visibly miserable, while Kody cheerfully insists everyone is happy. Fans are left asking, is Kody living in denial? Or is he simply rewriting the narrative so he can keep the spotlight on himself? But the press tour didn't stop at Gia. In a sit-down interview, Kody was pushed harder. Asked about his relationship with Robyn, his children, his faith, and even teased about whether viewers might one day see him court another woman. The environment was intense, designed to break down contestants and strip them bare. And for once, Kody wasn't the sun that others orbited. For once he was left standing on the sidelines, unpicked, unwanted. Could this be the ultimate ego check? Maybe. But as fans know, narcissism doesn't vanish in a single season. You can break someone down physically, but can you strip away years of ego and manipulation? That's the real question. Kody, of course, framed it differently. He painted the whole experience as noble. A team effort, a test of endurance, a world where you cheer each other on. He admitted it was ridiculously hard to watch someone get singled out, but still managed to cast himself as the wise observer, learning deep lessons about strength and survival. And yet the irony isn't lost on fans. The man who abandoned his wives emotionally now lectures about unity and sacrifice. The conversation soon turned personal. Interviewers asked if Robyn had seen the show and what her reaction was. Kody admitted she was hesitant at first, telling him they'd have to talk about it. But then, according to him, she simply surrendered. I've already lost you to this. I'm not going to stop it. For many viewers, that line was haunting. Did Robyn really say that? Or was it Kody's way of romanticizing control once again? And when pressed about whether Robyn might ever compete on the show herself, Kody painted her as both tough and fragile. The woman who gave birth, without a whimper, yet was, in his words, too tender for an environment designed to break people. He vowed he would never want her there. Fans couldn't help but notice the contradiction. Kody glorifies Robyn's toughness when it suits him, then shields her in the same breath as if she's untouchable. Finally, the interviewers poked at one of the most explosive rumors of all. Was Kody considering opening his marriage again? His response was quick, almost defensive. No, I wasn't ever considering this. He insisted he and Robyn are solid, lovers with a great relationship. But then, in the same breath, he confessed that attention from other women still reaches him, even calling it dangerous. He admitted to showing Robyn emails from women urging him to return to faith and religion, almost as if dangling temptation just to remind her she's the chosen one. For fans, it was another mask-slipping moment. The denials, the contradictions, the strange attempts at honesty wrapped in layers of ego. It all feeds the same fire. Kody Brown might claim he's learning, but every word suggests otherwise. And with Sister Wives Season 20 looming, viewers can't help but wonder. Is this the same old Kody just in a new uniform? Or is the fame finally swallowing him whole? Kody described one particular encounter that, on the surface, sounded harmless. A well-meaning woman approaching him from a religious perspective, urging him to repent. To him, it was just another curiosity, something almost humorous to share with Robyn later. But let's not overlook what he revealed between the lines. Kody openly admitted that both he and Robyn have been approached by outsiders about joining their family. In his own words, these weren't random people. Many of them were deeply embedded in the culture of plural marriage. Yet Kody insisted it doesn't feel realistic anymore. Why? Because of fame. Because in Kody's mind he is now too recognizable, too important, to let polygamy work the way it once did. And here's the irony. Robyn allegedly confessed that she had already lost him to the idea of being on special forces. Think about that. Not lost him to another wife. Not lost him to another faith. Lost him to a reality show. That's how obsessed Kody was with this new spotlight. For fans, this was the clearest proof yet that Kody isn't building a family anymore. He's building a brand. Then in one breath he tried to glorify Robyn by praising her toughness in childbirth, yet softened it immediately by calling her too fragile for such a brutal environment. The contradictions kept coming. And then came the line that sent fans reeling. Kody insisted he was naturally vulnerable, and that Robyn loved him for it. Vulnerable? This is the same man who left behind 3 wives, fractured nearly every relationship with his children, and still plays the victim at every turn. Fans weren't buying it. As one commenter put it, "Don't piss on our legs and tell us it's raining." And then came the most dangerous admission of all. Kody openly confessed that attention from other women could be dangerous. Let's call it what it is. Fidelity has never been a word in Kody Brown's vocabulary. He has been conditioned for decades to believe that pursuing other women isn't betrayal. It's holy. Robyn, ironically, never experienced the sting of betrayal the way Christine, Janelle, and Meri did, because Robyn was the betrayal. She was the mistress. She was the escape. She was the woman Kody cheated with, dressed up in spiritual language. And now, even as the last wife standing, she still lives in the shadow of his wandering eye. Kody then tried to pivot into an apology tour. He spoke about the collapse of Coyote Pass, the self-reflection that followed, and even admitted that Robyn once confronted him saying, "You're not the man I married. Why are you behaving this way?" According to Kody, that was his wake-up call, the moment he decided he needed to make things right. He described it as a spiritual rebirth, a phoenix rising from the ashes moment. He claimed the last 5 years had been dark, filled with anger, pain, and behavior he now regrets. And so he offered apologies, to his wives, to his family, to God. But here's the catch. When Kody explained those apologies, he made it clear that the very first person he needed to make things right with was himself. That's classic Kody Brown. He will always be his own number one. And that's why so many fans feel his apologies ring hollow. Were they truly for Christine, Janelle, and Meri? Or were they a way to polish his image just enough to survive this next chapter with Robyn? The interviewer pushed further. Was he hopeful that he could rebuild friendships with his exes, or was he fully moving on? Without hesitation, Kody said it's a new chapter with Robyn. Their dreams, their plans, their children, that's where his future lies. He insisted he wants friendly relationships with his exes, but Christine has already made it clear. Her kids are devastated and reconciliation hasn't come. If anything, the damage has deepened. Then came a chilling moment in the interview. Kody was asked about his kids watching Special Forces. He claimed some of them were excited, intrigued to see their father alongside public figures they follow. But the more he spoke, the more obvious it became. When Kody said his kids, he meant Robyn's kids. Not the 13 others. Not the ones he left behind. For them, there was no excitement, no connection, no inclusion. Fans were gutted. It was another reminder that Kody hasn't just abandoned his wives. He has phased out an entire generation of his own children, all for the comfort of his last wife standing. For viewers, this was the most tragic twist of all. After years of betrayal, heartache, and public scandal, Kody Brown now speaks as though he has only 4 children instead of 18. The original family, Christine's, Janelle's, Meri's, has been erased from his